Okay, so we are learning that Reb Nachman of Chernobyl, the holy Meor Einayim. This is actually, we're coming to the end of the cycle. For those of us who have been since the beginning, we started Parshat Chukas. We're supposed to start Parshat Shlach, but he doesn't have anything in Parshat Shlach. So this is the last 4 weeks that we're doing the Meor Einayim, and so I'll repeat the original kavana, the original intention of learning the Sefer is that there's a tradition from the Lelev Rebbe that learning Meor Einayim, because the word Meor Einayim means the light of the eyes. So there's a special quality of the Sefer Meor Einayim that it's good for people who need help with their eyesight. So we started this a year ago as a schos for my son Nasan Tzvi, that he doesn't have any vision in his right eye and he has very limited vision in his left eye, so that it should be a refuah shleima for him. So Zat Hashem, as we're going to the home stretch of this skula, so it's now it's time. So Zat Hashem. So he's doing great, by the way, and we can talk about that a different time. But he still needs to have better vision. So we're learning about Parshat Bamidbar, and I mentioned on Shabbos that this is my bar mitzvah parsha, and my tomorrow night is my Hebrew birthday. So thank you. And so Parshat Bamidbar, the Meor Einayim, the Nachum Shnobel's teachings for tonight it's something very, very deep, very crazy, very intense. It's so intense that I feel a little bit. I feel a little bit scared to share it with you. That it's an idea that it's very, I don't know. It's like I'm scared that you're gonna say, "Oh my gosh, he's crazy," because it's basically like the bottom line is that what we're gonna learn about is that you have to be a little bit crazy. Okay, so it goes like this. Because he starts with in this week's parsha in Bamidbar. It talks about taking accounting. It's called Sefer HaPekudim, that to take a accounting of the Jewish people. And so it says Su'u es Reish B'nai Yisrael Mishpachosam Be'Savosam. We're not talking about this tonight, but actually in one of the Torahs in the Meor Einayim, this week's parsha. So he says when it says you should count them l'gulgulotam. Gulgulotam, so he says that literally it comes from the word gulgulut, which means the skull. But he says that it's also a reference to Gilgul, which is reincarnations, and that a person needs to know that part of that the part of their job in this world is not just to fix everything they did in this world. The person needs to know that we are responsible to make this the last of our Gilgulim, the last of our coming down into this world. And so you're in the video. I don't know how you feel about that.
I feel great.
Yeah, I feel okay. Okay.
Do you want to sit down?
So
No, I'm in the video.
no. Okay.
We'll tag you in the comments.
Yeah.
Please do.
Okay. Rabbi, who's that guy on the left? He's so good. So all those Palestinians listening to my videos are gonna.
Well, no, that people actually come to your shield.
So it's talking about it's talking about taking an accounting, taking a sense of the Jewish people, and so it says Su'as Reish B'nai Yisrael, and Rashi says that mitoch chibasan, because Hashem loves us so much that he's always counting us, and the reason why he's counting us so much is because he loves us so much. And so based on this, it's like a person who's like obsessed with his money, so he's always counting his money. Person, like when I was a kid, I used to have a baseball card collection, and so I was like just always like organizing them and reorganizing them, and like in my parents' generation, they used to have stamp collections. So that was like, and so it's a thing when you're obsessed with something, so you're always counting it. So Hashem is obsessed with us, so he's always counting us. So the thing is that later in the parsha, so it says es mata Levi loisiv kod v'sach b'nai Yisrael, that the tribe of Levi, so you can't count them together with the Jewish people, and you need to count them separately. And so Rashi says on that Katahu Ligion Shemelech the Yasnim Levadei, that the Ligion Shemelech, the officers, the special officers, the special who's who club of Hashem, so they deserve to be counted separately, and they don't deserve to be together with everybody else. And so the question is that like, if it's a good thing to be counted, so what's it mean to be counted separately? Why shouldn't it be counted with everybody else? If Hashem loves counting us, so like what's it mean not to be counted? And so to understand this, so he brings a pasuk. It's actually a pasuk in this week's Haftarah. So it's pasuk in Hosea, the Navi Hosea. The Navi says that V'haya Mispeh B'nai Yisrael, that the number of the Jewish people is going to be Kachal Hayam. It's going to be the sum of the sand of the sea. Asher Lo Yimad V'lo Yisafer, that it can't be counted, it can't be numerated. So the Gemara says it's a contradiction. It says that the number of the Jewish people is going to be like something that can't be counted. So if it's a number, then it means it could be counted. If it can't be counted, then there can't be a number. So the Gemara says in Yuma, it says Kan ba'isem mitzvah shamakom, Kan be'ein isem mitzvah shamakom. That when it says misfar, it says when we have a number, so that's referring to when we're ein isem mitzvah shamakom, when we're not connected with the will of God. When it says when it says there's no misper, there's no number, so that's talking about that's talking about that when we are connected to the will of God. So try to understand what this means, and he notes that really Hashem already promised Avraham Avinu. He told them that you should know that your descendants are going to be so many. They're going to be like the sand of the sea. So it was already predestined that we're going to have this concept of being like the sand of the sea. So like, why is that necessarily something connected? That it can't be like because we messed up. It can't be that a curse that we're going to be counted. And we find in this week's Parshat that it's a mitzvah to count. So like, how could it be that counting means that we're bad? Okay. So to understand this, so Nachman Shnavu, so he starts to explain that we need to understand what is the idea of numbers, and to understand that there's some things which are actually beyond numbers. Okay, that when we talk about when we talk about the worlds work in a certain sequence. The worlds work with a cause and effect. And the world is finite. The world can be, we can put a label on everything, but in this world of counting, when you have counting, so you have a lot of different separation. You have numbers. You have when you have numbers, you have a lot, right? So there's also something that. There's a certain dimension of God, which is the God is beyond numbers, and this is what the Zohar calls that Antu Chad v'lo b'chushbana. Okay, when the Zohar talks about Hashem, so it says that we know that we say every day that Hashem Echad, right? Hashem is one. So the Zohar says when we say that Hashem is one, we don't mean that Hashem is number one. Hashem is that he's the first. He's the strongest, and he's the smartest. And he's the best looking, and he's the best guitar player, and they're like, number two is, okay, Sophie, who's number two? Okay. So, somebody, there was this guy this funny speaker I don't know why, I don't know how this came into his speech, but he said in the middle of the speech he was bored, and he said so anybody tell me anything in the world and I'll tell you a joke about it. And so he says, so somebody raised his hand and he said Rav Shach. So he said, so when I was a kid, I always wanted to rent an apartment on Rehov Harav Shach Mispar Shtayim. That's to have my address should be Rav Shach Mispar Shtayim, because because then every time that we get an envelope, every time we get a piece of mail, so it would say, so his name is Michal Lasri. So it says Michal Lasri. Number 2 is Rav Shach. so that when we're talking about God being one, so that he's number one. Even like he's like it doesn't. So when the Zohar says V'lo b'chushbana, so what it means is that it's not that he's the best, he's number one, and somebody else is number 2. It means that he's beyond counting. He's beyond the concept of being in this competition. That we say this in Adon Olam. V'hu echad, ve'en sheni. Okay, when we say that Hashem is one, we don't mean that he's the first one to win the race and that there's a number 2. That it means that v'hu echad ve'en sheni, that he's one in the sense that that's all there is. Okay, so we're talking about Hashem being one. So we mean that he's actually the beyond numbers. Okay, it's a different kind of oneness. Okay, so this is also connected to the fact that the numbers is connected to the concept of time. That in fact, according to physics, so the definition of time is it requires movement, requires motion, and that the definition of time is that when you have a movement, so the contrast between before it moved and after it moved, that's called time. Okay, so the having numbers is like when talking about like a stopwatch. The numbers are always moving, right? So the Hashem, because Hashem is beyond time, meaning that he is inclusive of the past, present, future, so he's also beyond numbers. Okay, so now the idea is that when the Jewish people are osim ratzon Hashem makom, so when we are connected to Hashem's will, so then we are connected to this existence. I forget to turn this on. It's still going to work, right?
You mean I wasn't on video?
Yeah. No, but on video it just wasn't on the good volume. Yeah, otherwise I have to start again. And then, what? Now it has it. Yeah, but it didn't before. But it also... Yeah. Okay, so the... When it says when it says that... No, that wasn't this. No? Stove. Yeah. So when it says ba'osin ratzon Hashem makom means that we're connected to Hashem's ratzon. So because Hashem's ratzon is beyond numbers, so when we are connected to Hashem's ratzon, so we can also connect to this reality of being beyond numbers, being beyond counting, being beyond this finity. Okay, and so when we're in Hashem makom, so then when we're going against Hashem's ratzon, so then we're stuck in the world of numbers. So he notes that this, Rashi says that this counting, this census that Hashem was taking, that Moshe was taking of the Jewish people, so it actually came right after the Chet HaEgel. It came after the sin of the golden calf. So what was the thing about the golden calf? How did we mess up? How did we mess up to want to have a golden calf? Right, this is the secular Jews one of their questions on the Torah, one of their problems with the Torah is that if we really got the Torah, if I really saw that God was one, so how could it be that 40 days later, so we built a golden calf? So it must be that we didn't really see God. It must be that we didn't really get the Torah. And which is a really retarded argument, because how do you know? How did he know that we built a calf? Because it says so in the Torah. There's no historical, there's no archaeological evidence that we built a golden calf. So the only way that they're asking the question is because they're trusting the document of the Torah. So it says in the document of the Torah that we also got the Torah. So it's really just a messed up, intellectually dishonest question. But the question could be asked that like after you saw God, okay, like forget this as being an argument to try to disprove the Torah. But it's a decent question. Like how could we how could we mess up so badly after we saw that there's a God? So how could we start worshiping some? Okay. So the truth is that it's even more messed up. If you think about it, like they knew that they were making the golden calf themselves. So like, what does it mean that this golden calf that I just made, he created me? That's like, yeah. So all the commentaries explain that the whole concept of the golden calf in particular and idolatry in general is that it's hard to connect to the infinite. Okay, that when we have an infinite God, so you have somebody that you can't see him, that you can't feel him, that you can't you can't have you can't hear him, and so it's really hard to sustain a relationship with such a being. So it's much nicer, it's much easier to understand when we have something which is we can put in our hands. We can this is the way that I'm going to focus. That I'm going to have this concept of God, which is I'm going to have like a picture of the no, I'm not sure. So that I'll have something finite, you know. That something finite that this is going to be my way of focusing. This is going to be my way of connecting to the beyond. Okay, so really their desire for a golden calf was not chas v'shalom that they thought that this piece of gold was their creator. It was that they want some kind of physical manifestation, that this is my physical way of focusing on something greater. Okay, and even though that's a kosher desire, it's a kosher will. I mean, this is obviously the subconscious desire of Christianity to make a human God, because a human is compassionate. A human, like we get it. We get a human. Like I have a superpower. That's something that we can connect with. So to connect with this infinite God, it's like when you're infinite, it's really hard to connect. I'm saying that they're connected in their underlying desire.
Because I think it was so much holier than that, was it not? Because they were just trying to connect when Moshe went up. That was pretty much what happened.
Right.
So that's not what Christianity was.
Yeah, it was.
Well, Christianity is complicated. I mean,
Christianity, they claim that Jesus. Many of them claim that he is God himself, or that he's the Son of God.
I'm specifically speaking about the Trinity. The whole concept of that only came much after he died. It came only 400 years after he died. It was like, it's a concept of religion that has a physical God. It's not just Christianity. It's also all idolatry. It clearly was connected to the concept of idolatry. Right? What? Mm-hmm. Anyway, so it's not the same. But it was like a.
But you're basically saying the whole concept within itself of idolatry is coming from a spiritual place.
For sure. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. That the Rambam writes as well. That the Rambam writes that idolatry started from a good place. That we can't connect to the infinite, we can't connect to God. So we'll connect to his servants, and like the sun and the moon are like his servants. Those energies that are lower than him. So those we can deal with. That's in my comprehension. So I can deal with the God of the sun. I can't deal with the infinite God. So it's different because it was not paganism, but they weren't worshiping a different deity, but it's still forbidden because you can't make a physical manifestation. So their desire to try to make something physical was really a desire to try to get away from this below mispar, to be in this reality which is beyond numbers, which is beyond the physical, any physical kind of systems, any boundaries. Okay, so this is how it is. This is why the Chet Ego brought that after we've sinned with the Chet Ego, then our level was lowered, our level fell, and then we have a number. Okay, and that's why we have to start having. That's when the census comes in, and this is really the story of Sefer Bamidbar is really about being in this reality that we're fallen. Okay, and we're trying to build ourselves, and we're trying to reach this higher level of being in Eretz Yisrael, which is like being in this geula. But the time in the desert represents specifically this time that we're on a fallen level, and we're trying to work in the concepts of time and space, in the concept of having something which is really finite. Okay. So now the thing is that the tribe of Levi, so they didn't sin with the golden calf, meaning that they still remained with this mentality of being beyond, of being without a number. Okay, so that's what the Midrash means, that really the tribe of Levi deserved not to be counted with the rest of the people, because really they still retained their identity as being beyond numbers. Okay, what?
Especially the women and children. No?
Yeah, but anyway, we weren't counting the women or the children. Yeah. So Chaim to the women and children. Mm. No, it's actually cool. It's actually a good point.
I didn't know that they weren't counted.
Yeah. Kol Zachar. It says in the yeah. Mm-hmm. Only it was a very sexist census.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. So no, I think what you're saying is very deep. That the deeper reason why the women and children weren't counted is because they actually were still connected to this tribe of Levi. So it's not that we don't care about them, it's because it doesn't make sense to count them, because they're higher than there. Exactly. Okay? It's like a person trying to count his wives. What?
Right, they also had a hard time doing that back in the day. Did they not?
Yeah,
but they're
It was spiritual.
they're uncountable, because it's like everyone was the only one. Okay, okay. So how come we actually had to? How come in this week's Parshat, so the tribe of Levi actually does get counted? So on that, the Einayim says that sometimes, even though the tribe of Levi is really in this higher mentality, really in this higher consciousness, but sometimes they have to lower themselves to the level of being counted, because the tikkun which regards the people that need to be counted. So in this case specifically, so the tribe of Levi, why did they need to be counted? Because they needed to switch with the firstborns. The firstborns were supposed to be doing the service in the temple, but because they messed up with the sin of the golden calf, so they couldn't retain that higher spiritual level. So they need to switch them. So because their job right now was to switch with the bachar, with the firstborns. So because I'm trying to fix you, so I can't fix you. If I'm infinite and you're finite, so I can't fix you. So that's why they needed to be counted as well. But the purpose of their counting was only in order to get into the shoes of the tribe of Levi, into the shoes of the firstborns, in order to fix them. Okay, so yeah.
So they literally had to go into a lower level.
Mm-hmm. They needed to be compatible with this lower level. It's crazy, but it's very real. It's very real. That's every tzaddik needs to be able to be compatible with your common folk, because the purpose is in order to help them. So if you're not going to be compatible with the common folks, then you're not going to be able to help them. Okay, so.
I'm saying it's crazy because now you know how I feel. It's like when the teacher teaches the students,
Mm-hmm.
kids, put yourself on their level and try to understand them. You feel like a kid as well.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on who you're.
I think you're a good teacher.
I am a teacher. What?
I think you're a good teacher.
Thank you.
If you. I never heard that in my life, but it sounds amazing. Yeah.
I'm not a teacher, but I'm a teacher, but I don't have a degree of a teacher.
Good. If you would have a degree, then you would have a number, and now you're a teacher without a number. Okay. Okay. So when it says we're trying to understand, what does this mean that the Jewish people, on some level they have a number, on a different level they don't have a number, and even when we don't have a number, but we need to be able to be compatible with the people that have numbers. So try to understand what this means. So on one level, on one level, so the world of numbers, the world of mispars, is a physical world. Okay, this is the world of science. Right? Science is full of numbers. Science is full of numbers. Right? I told you about this. The story with this third grade girl that saw this man in the park. Always had numbers on his page. So he figured he's good at math. So she asked him if he could help her with her homework, and so he was nice about it. And so she kept on going back, and like one day she mentioned to her teacher, like this wouldn't go nowadays, but like this was in the 50s. So, and she was like, who's this guy that helps you with your homework? So she says, oh, it's nice, just a nice guy in the park. So she says, could you tell him, ask him who he is? So she went the next day and said, my teacher wants to know who you are. So he took out his business card, and he said, here, show your teacher, and it said Albert Einstein. And so she said, wow, could you ask your friend if he wants to come, if he could come speak to the class? So the end of the story is that he said, of course, and he came to this third grade class, and he explained the theory of relativity to the third grade class. Okay? Because when you're Albert Einstein, so then you can explain it even to a third grade. Okay? But anyway, so the world is the world of numbers. So the world of science is the world of numbers, right? So the laws of science are laws of numbers, right? So when we say that the Jewish people have this ability to be b'li mispar, to be shaloyim v'lo yisofer, so one thing that we're saying is that we aren't confined to the world of numbers. We're not confined to the world of science. We're not confined to the laws of nature. Okay, and that we live a supernatural existence. Yeah, this is something we spoke about this. We spoke about this in passing 2 weeks ago. We're speaking about the connection of the Jewish people to the land of Israel, and the truth is that the whole existence of the Jewish people is a supernatural existence. It makes no sense that we still exist. It makes no sense that we've been around for so many years, and it makes no sense that how we're able to flourish and like when it comes to wars, like especially like this is appropriate for because tomorrow night, in the 2 nights is what you call it, is Yom Yerushalayim, that we're celebrating the 6-day war. That the 6-day war was open miracles. Like there's nobody like that. In fact, it was such open miracles that the 6-day war actually sparked the whole Tshuva revolution. The whole Tshuva movement was a direct result of the 6-day war because everyone saw that there's a God. It was like there was no way to deny it, that whatever they were trying to tell themselves until then. So like there was no way out after they saw the 6-day war, and I shared before the famous story that there was a Jewish soldier in the American army that was studying at West Point, and he was like, and he wanted to know how come you don't teach us some things from the Israeli wars, and he told him that this top general in West Point told him that there is nothing we can learn from any Israeli war, that every Israeli war goes against everything that we've ever taught here. It's just there's no strategic lesson that we can learn from it. But it's just miracles. It's just supernatural. And there was a Goyish general in America that's saying that like every war that Israel fought just makes no sense. And so this is one level. This is one level of that being Jewish requires being above the physical world. I mean that we're a nation that lives with miracles. That by us miracles is a matter of fact. That there's like when we have something that doesn't look well, that isn't going well, so we can daven, and there's a different. We aren't confined to the laws of nature, and we have supernatural powers. We have supernatural abilities. Okay, that's one. That's number one. But the truth is that there's something much deeper to this being b'li mispar. When we're talking about having a mispar, so part of what this means is to have a sequence, to have a cause and effect, and to have a narrative. Okay, having a mispar, having a number means having a narrative, meaning that having a chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, having an introduction, having a story, having a final chapter, the end. Okay. Now, part of being B'li Mispar without number, so that means that there is no beginning, middle, end. That there is nothing else. Okay. So part of our existence as having nothing, as not having a mispar, means that there isn't a story. That everything is just the way it is. Now, I've shared before a teaching from the Vilna Gaon, that the Vilna Gaon says that whenever a person is, he's talking about learning Torah, but it's really true about anything you're doing. He says that a person that's coming to do something holy. So the first thing that you need to meditate on is that pretend that you are the only person alive in the entire universe. Okay, you are the last human being alive. Okay, so this everything you do, like, it matters, because like no one else is going to do it. This is prime time. This is like all the eyes are on Rafa. So it's like there's nobody else. There's nobody else going to do it. So number one, I'm the only person alive. I'm the last person alive. Okay. Number two, not only am I the last person alive, but it's the last day of my life. It's the last day of my life. Okay, that's intense, huh? So there is nobody else, and there is no tomorrow, Okay. Number three. So number three is that this is the only page of Chumash that exists. Okay? There is nothing else. There is nothing else. And like I said, it's a metaphor, the learning Torah, but it's true for any good thing that you're doing, that there is no other person that needs a smile besides, well, we already said there's no other people, but there is no other character trait I'm trying to improve. This is it, and when the focus that I need to have in every element of my self-improvement, every holy act I'm trying to do, needs to be that there is nothing else, that there is nobody else, there is no tomorrow. So when you're in this mindset that there is nothing else, so that is B'li Mispar. Then you're connected to this reality of that B'li Mispar, that there is nothing, there is no tomorrow, this isn't the second day of my life, this is all there is. Okay? And so in a certain sense, this is like the way this is like it's a dangerous way of living life in a certain sense. There's this story that the Talmidim of Melech Melezhinsk once asked him that, like the Melech was the Talmud of the Maggid, and so in that generation there were amazing tzaddikim. So there was Rebbe Melech, there was his brother Rebbe Zusha, there was the Balatanya, there was the Einayim, there was the Abdurav, there was amazing. What? He wasn't the student of the Maggid. He hated the Maggid. So when you were by the Maggid, you were by the Chavraya, so you had so many tzaddikim together. So how could you not bring Mashiach? Why didn't you come together? Why didn't this amazing Chavraya? Why did they come together and why did they just bring Mashiach? So the Vilna told them a crazy thing. That this bothers me, but it's amazing. Okay, he said, I promise you, every time that we sat by the Rebbe, so it was so clear that Mashiach is here. That I couldn't imagine, we need to bring Mashiach, the world is so bad. The world is just perfect. I was in such bliss. We're all in just such bliss every time we're by the Rebbe that we couldn't imagine that we need to bring any Geula. And obviously it was from Hashem that they shouldn't realize that they need to daven and need to bring the Geula. But this was a reality, this was a consciousness that they were so, that there is nothing else, that I'm there. I'm just there. Okay, and this is what it means to be B'li Mispar. Okay, this is like in the world of numbers. So you have exile, you have galus, and from the exile comes the geula, and if there wouldn't be darkness, then there wouldn't be a light. And in the world of B'li Mispar, so wow, everything is good. It's just better than edibles. This is that, and so this is this is when you're in this world of B'li Mispar. So like nothing is missing. Nothing is missing. You're actually there. There's no galus geula. That every moment of life is complete redemption. Now it's that this is also related to like a different it's a certain of like myopicness in life, a certain like nearsightedness in life that I'll tell you a story. That there was a Rosh Yeshiva in America, Blei Malin. He started yeshiva called Beis Talmud, Brooklyn, and he was in Shanghai during the war, and he was a big, it was amazing Talmud Chacham. He was also a big tzaddik. He was the one that he got married. He got married at age 42, and in that time, like they were called altar mirrors. That like nobody wanted to marry them. Like there was like the boys were more religious than the girls, so like nobody no girls wanted to marry a yeshiva boy. So we finally found a girl when he was 42 years old, and so he told his friends, if I would have known it's so good, I would have done it at 40 already. So Blei Malin. So once he was in his yeshiva in Beis Talmud, so he's so there was one of the students. So one of the parents of the students, he wanted to take his kid to leave yeshiva. So he wants to speak to the rabbi to say, I appreciate that you're taking care of my son, but time has come that I want him to go to university. So we asked him, why do you want him to go to university? So he says, I want him to do something for the world, to be a doctor, a lawyer. So like what would we tell him? What would we tell his father? Like if you were like I'm saying, if you were trying to convince him to stay in yeshiva, right?
Don't go to Columbia.
So he would tell him. So like I would tell him. I would think that like you understand. Every time you're learning Torah, it's improving the world. It's making kedusha in the world, and like you don't understand. You're bringing bracha. So he told him to do something for the world. Beis Talmud is the Welt. Beis Talmud is the world. Was helped us Beis Talmud is not a doctor, not a lawyer. How is Beis Talmud going to gain from there being another doctor? I don't know what we're talking about. He was living in this reality that Beis Talmud is the Welt. It's a mentality. It's a very. This is what I mean. Like that I'm scared to say this. But it's to live in this consciousness that yes, this like in this show we're talking about Chassidus, and this is all that exists. This is I remember feeling this when I was a kid, and even still I remember when I was like the first time I was there. I went to Moshe Shapiro. So he would hypnotize me. I would go there and he would speak for like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours every week, and you just couldn't move. It was just like he just transported you to a different world. Like to a certain degree, I feel the same thing by Meor Zilberberg, that it's that he transports you to a different reality. That there is nothing else, and so then you leave. Then leaving, you go back into the world, into the real world, and so Sir Blade is challenging us that who said that's the real world? Maybe just stay here. I remember feeling this very strongly when my first year Besmedish, my first year in yeshiva, I was gap year, right after high school, and so all my friends were going back. And so I started thinking to myself, who says this needs to end? Maybe this is the real world. Maybe that's the fake world. Who said that the point of gap year is that to get some skills and to get some inspiration in order to take it back into the real world? Maybe this is it. Maybe that's the fake world. So this is so this is a different way of looking at life. There was an amazing person. There was an amazing yid. His name was Matis Gelman. I have a class about him when we're doing the Jewish heroes. So I have a class about him. He lived during the Holocaust. He was killed in the Holocaust, and he was a Baal Tshuva. He was a Baal Tshuva. He was brought up in a very secular, assimilated family in Vienna, and there was one day it's like somebody, he was going to some very a school for gifted children, like a non-Jewish school, and somebody called him like a dirty Jew, and like it was the first time he ever heard the term. He was he knew he was Jewish, but he was just like he happened to come to the Jewish part of town, to the religious part of town, and he saw this big rabbi, and he ran up to him and he said, Rabbi, somebody called me a dirty Jew. Are Jews really dirty? and so he said, he told him that no, we say every day that Hashem, the soul that you gave us, is pure. So a Jew can't be dirty. It's antithetical. Being Jewish is antithetical to being dirty. So he said, but Rabbi, but I don't daven. I don't know how to. I don't even know what. I don't say that. So he said. So he told him it's such a shame that you're being persecuted. You're being persecuted for you don't even know why you're being persecuted. So I bless you that you should find your way. And so he eventually found his way, and he ran away from home. And his father was chasing after him, and he became a big chassid of the Einayim. Okay, became a very big ger chassid, and so. But his claim to fame was his big thing in his life was that during that in the Warsaw Ghetto, so he had this underground yeshiva that they had a philosophy of non-compliance. Okay, they had a philosophy that anyway we're dead, so why should we give them time of day? So they refused to show up. They refused to agree to anything that the Nazis said, and they were learning 16 hours a day in these underground yeshivas. They were hiding, and there's a picture of them. There's a picture you can see that from 1942. That there's this picture of these people with Hasidic clothing and like long beards, long pairs, and that didn't exist. There was no such thing as having Hasidic clothing and pairs and beards in 1942. It was 4 years after the Holocaust, and it was from these Matisovtsim, these students of Matis Gelman, that they were able to just There's a book about them by a guy named Moshe Prager called "They Who Never Yielded." You can look it up. It's an amazing book. Highly recommend it. So one of the things that he would tell us Talmidim is that what we don't care about the rest of the world. That what people say. Who's the world that we should care about what they say? They're nothings. They're ephes. They're nothing. Sheba nothing. I don't give a hoot what the whole world thinks. They're a bunch of jerks. They're like all those professors and all those prime ministers and all those geniuses. They can all jump in the lake. That this is my truth, and that to look at the entire world as nothing. Okay, he would have a song that he would always sing. Unfortunately, it didn't get to me the melody of the song, but the song that he would always sing was that I remember 3 verses from the song. That one is that it was about being a chassid. But what does it mean to be a chassid? So he said that there should be a fire without any smoke. That only a chassid understands. For that alone, it's worthwhile to be a chassid. That everything is yours and nothing is mine. Nothing is mine. That is something only a chassid can understand. For that alone, it's worthwhile to be a chassid. And the third line, this is the point. Remember, I was on saying this in a class to these secular Israelis, and so a girl told me, I like the first 2 parts, I didn't like the third part. But the point was the third part. That the third line is that to that everything that is beautiful to the world, to you is disgusting. That only a chassid understands. For that alone, it's worthwhile to be a chassid. So, and this is like that. I'm in a different wavelength. That like what the world worships is not what I worship. What the world thinks is beautiful, I think is disgusting. And I'm living in a different reality. I'm living in this reality that this is all that exists. And so getting back to these two existences of the Jewish people. We have an existence of being with a mispar. That's Einayim mitzvah shemakom. We have an existence of being beli mispar, and that's called oisem mitzvah shemakom. And so he says that this is actually what we're doing during Sfiras HaOmer. That Sfiras HaOmer is mitzvah of counting. Okay, so counting requires that we put ourselves into this reality that there is a sequence, that there is a today and tomorrow, the next day, and we know the first week that I'm only focusing on this because next week is different, and decompartmentalizing all of our things in life and all of our missions and all of our lists, and so he says that it says an amazing thing. It says that you should count seven times 7. 7 weeks, 7 days, 7 times. And you should count 50. You should count 50. So the question is that you're not counting 50, you're counting 49. So how does the Torah say what does it mean to count 50? So he says that on Shavuos, so we're connecting with Hashem Echad. And Shavuos, a 50th day, that's beyond counting. You can't count it because you're entering this reality that cannot be counted, because it's in this consciousness which cannot be counted, because it's beyond the world of counting, and that's connecting to the world of God being one. Okay, and this is what he explains. It says in the Gemara Brachos that Hashem says to us that you made me one, like it says Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. So I'll make you one, because it says Mi ka'amcha Yisrael Goy Echad Ba'aretz. You're going to be one. So, yes, what does it mean? Like I'm one, you're one. So he says this is what it means. It means that when it says that Hashem is one, it doesn't mean that he's the best. It doesn't mean he's the strongest. It doesn't mean he's number one. He's first, not second. That it means that there is nothing else. So the Jewish people can be in this reality which is completely beyond any measures. It's not that we're the biggest nation. It's just we are the only nation. That this is everybody else doesn't exist. They can all jump in a lake. And so I think this is really, what do we do on Shavuos? We stay up all night. Okay? So usually, if somebody is into staying up all night, we tell them that they're being reckless, right? We tell them that's not a responsible way to live your life, right? But on Shavuos, there is no tomorrow. On Shavuos, so this is it. Where there's no such thing as I'm gonna sleep today because I want to have more energy for. No. That right now I'm living life to the fullest. Right now I'm having a good learning time. So what do you mean? Wake up for Shacharis? What? I remember when I was first teaching in Meor. One night we had an oneg at my house, and it was amazing, and we went until 3 a.m. and so Sunday morning, so the director called me into his office, and he said Yeshikach, I heard you had a good oneg, I heard you went very low. I said, yeah, Baruch Hashem, it was awesome. So he says I heard it went until 3 a.m. So he said, yeah, I can't believe it. It was like in a different world. It was like, so he says, I think that some of the kids weren't able to get up for Shacharis at 7 o'clock. I didn't know. I didn't know that there's even 11. But I was thinking to myself, 10 years from now, how many of them are going to remember that they woke up for Shacharis at 7 a.m? Right now, we're making memories. This oneg is going to be something that they're going to remember 20 years from now. How can you how can you like stop? How can you stop the magic? How can you stop the music because we have to wake up tomorrow? So that living in this consciousness of there is no tomorrow. So that is what Shavuos is. That is what Shavuos is all about. And so the truth is that there is a tomorrow. The truth is that we do need to live in this world of mispar, this world of cause and effect, this world of that there are repercussions to our actions, and we can't always be reckless. But it's important to bring the above mispar into our lives as well. And there's different ways to do this. There was a tzaddik that lived. He was an American. He lived in Al-Fakim. His name was Rav Pinkus, Shem Pinkus. So I had the merit to hear him many times before he passed away. He passed away in a tragic car accident that him and his wife and his baby that they all died. And so I read about him that sometimes he didn't do this every week, but it says in the Gemara that whatever you spend on Shabbos, so comes back. Whatever, you don't have to be money conscious for spending on Shabbos. So Pinkas, sometimes he didn't do this every week, but sometimes he wanted to instill in his children this emunah that when it comes to Shabbos, so money is not an issue. So he would tell his kids that go to the candy store and buy whatever you want. Money is not an issue. Just fill up your bags as much as whatever you're going to eat on Shabbos. If you think you can eat it on Shabbos, so buy it. Okay, he had connections with the dentists and all fucking. But there is no, just like the sky's the limit. Just like sometimes it's just like there is no mispar. There is no. It's like we need to have these times in our life that I don't care anymore about how expensive it is. That right now I'm living like there is no tomorrow. Okay, and in a holy way, in a good way. Okay, and now. So we said before that sometimes even if you're in this world of the tribe of Levi, that they're in this beyond Mispar, they have to bring themselves down to the world of Mispar. So this is true on many levels. This is true in the world of outreach. I think this is very true. That when we try to sell Judaism, usually the way to go about it is to tell people how much Judaism is gonna add to your life. It's geschmack. Geschmack be it's true. You should keeping kosher is gonna add to your life. Keeping kosher is keeping Shabbos is gonna add to your life. And just becoming Chabad, you have 4 Brenkens every day, it's worthwhile. I was talking to one of my Rabban about the difference between Sigmund Freud and Viktor Frankl, I was telling him how the Lubavitcher Rebbe was proactive in helping and supporting Viktor Frankl because he looked at it as a revolution in the way that psychology looks at the human psyche. From a person who's just looking for personal pleasure to a person who's looking for meaning. And so he told me, yeah, but even in Frankl's psychology, but the reason why you're looking for meaning is because it makes you feel good. And so what do he mean? He means that's not really the truth. Really, the true reason to look for meaning is not because it makes you feel good. It's because that's what you're created for. You have no option. This isn't like I'm in the mood to do okay, what can I do today? What's my favorite flavor of ice cream? So living a meaningful life is my favorite flavor of ice cream. So let's live meaningful lives. That's really a twisted way of looking at reality. Really, the truth is that we were created in this world for a particular mission. So I told him that it's like the truth is that he came to this before he believed in God, and it's through his search for meaning that he actually discovered God. But so you're right. But once you have, but the truth is that coming to the truth actually comes in stages. That there's a step one, which is the step of of mispar, the step of having a cause and effect, of having that, like the Judaism is geschmack. The truth is the Judaism will enhance my life, and then after doing it because it's geschmack, so then at some point I reach a level that the truth is that there is no other way. And this is like and every Baal Tshuva at some point like passes this forgot the word, this threshold that like after like you start like liking Shabbos, and then you start doing Shabbos like a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, and then at some point you realize that I don't think I can actually. I think it's too late. I think I'm there. I think I actually believe in this already. I don't think I can go back anymore. Like you feel like you lost your control. Like it used to be like I'm deciding I want to keep Shabbos this week, and at some point like oops, like it's too late. Now I have to keep Shabbos because I actually believe in it already, and it's that I find this to be amazing with so many converts as well, that like converting to Judaism, like you would think is like the greatest choice that you have. Like nobody told you have to be Jewish, and like I hear so many times that like I felt like this was my destiny. Like this is this calling. I just have this Jewish soul, and it would not leave me alone until I converted. Like so you see, you have the person who's making the greatest choice in the world telling you that I had no choice. This was my fate. And this is really what Hashem tells us at Shavuos as well, because after we said Nasa v'Nishma, after we said that we want the Torah, so then it says that Hashem took Mount Sinai and held it over our heads, and He says, "That's it. If you don't accept the Torah, you're finished." And so Chazal say that this is an element of force, that He wanted us to know that being Jewish isn't just because Nasa v'Nishma. It's not just. Don't go through life thinking, I chose to be a Jew. That the truth is that you did choose, but the truth is that you were forced into it as well. That this was your destiny. There was no other option. Okay, so being in this world, being in this consciousness that it couldn't have been any other way. That this is my life. This is my destiny. This is my world. So this is actually bringing us to the world of Bli Mispar. This is actually bringing us to the consciousness that there isn't number one, number two. There is no cause and effect. That all there is God. All there is Judaism. All there is my mission. And this is the consciousness that the only thing that matters is my relationship with God, and everything else in my life is just so irrelevant. It's just I couldn't care less. And so once again, like this is, if you're going to constantly be in this consciousness of Bli Mispar, so you're actually not going to succeed. You're actually going to have a reckless life. So that's why Hashem counts the Levis. That even though that our deep down we are part of this consciousness, we are part of this reality of being Bli Mispar. That I'm just learning Torah and I can stay up all night, and like the entire universe is based on Talmud, but that's actually going to get me into trouble. And we're stuck in this world to a certain degree, and that's why we have to learn to pretend. We have to learn to count. We have to learn to be in this world of numbers, and by being in this world of numbers, so it'll actually bring us to a healthy connection to our life as being beyond numbers. So this is what this parsha is all about. This is what the book of Numbers. The book of Numbers is actually about escaping numbers, and so this is that we hate math. We hate and so we we're in the world beyond math, and so I bless us all that we should remember that we're crazy, and we don't have to make sense, and we can just live crazy lives, and we don't have to give answers to anybody, but when we need to, so then we should be able to pretend. We should be able to talk coherently, be able to bring, but to know deep down that that's not the real reason. That's not The real reason is because you're just a stupid head. And so to know that we're able to coexist in these two worlds. So l'chaim Zat Hashem should have crazy lives.
Amen.
Hashem.